My name is Corey Kwok, and I'm from Houston, Texas. The story that I want to talk about isn't so much a specific story. It's more about my experience as an Asian American male growing up in the U.S. and my experience in the gay community and dating in general. On a lot of occasions, I get these backhanded compliments of, how cute I am for an Asian guy, or I have to be, part white or mixed race or something like that, because of the way that I look. There was one time I was on a gay dating site, if you can call it dating, but what I kind of did this like social experiment where I created a profile, I posted my photos and a bio, and in the ethnicity section I put that I was Asian. Did that for about a week, and I kind of monitored the number of hits that I got, and after that I changed the ethnicity section to read other or mixed race or whatever it was, and I noticed that there was a remarkable increase in the number of hits that I received. The reason that I wanted to do that was because of the experience that I've had being a person of color in the gay community, especially in a community that's used to facing discrimination. You go onto online sites like that, and there are people out there who outright will say that they do not date Asian guys, or they do not date black guys, or whoever it is. And I understand preference, and I understand that people have certain preferences, but when it comes to something like race, it's just race is such a huge qualifier that how can you possibly determine what a group of people look like, or what you're attracted to in a group of people, when in reality you haven't met the whole population in that group. Living in the society that we live in today, and being gay and having to face that level of discrimination, and then having to face that discrimination again within the community, and it's just one of those things where you think that we've been, it's 2009, that something like that doesn't happen anymore, but it definitely does.
My name is Ronnie Kroll. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, living in New York right now. I came out when I was 15 years old, but I was kind of found out by my mom. I didn't really get to come out to her. I had been seeing this friend, a boyfriend of mine, and we were going out to a comedy show. And my mom was okay with him spending the night because he had a long way to drive home. So it was a beautiful night in Chicago. It was gorgeous, the stars were out, and I said to my boyfriend, why don't we go lay out in the back, we'll put a blanket down and we'll have a romantic evening and just enjoy each other. And so, one thing led to another. We were cuddling and just kissing and gazing into each other's eyes, if you will. And the next thing I know, all I hear is my trembling mother's voice saying, "So, you're gay." And at that very moment, I threw him off of me, like he went flying through the air. My heart was just racing at like the speed of light, and I got up and I was trying to tell my mom, no, I'm bisexual, it's just a phase, don't worry about it. And at this point, like, she was in tears and she was so upset and overwhelmed, and she didn't know what to say or do. She's a good person and she didn't want to hurt anyone, but at the same time she was like literally like breaking apart inside. And we went back into the house, and my mom and I were going at it and kind of going back and forth. My grandmother was living with us at the time because she had a massive heart attack the year prior, so she was very sick, 78 years old, walking with a cane, sleeping in our spare bedroom. But at 3 in the morning, of course, she's hearing shouting and she's trying to figure out what's going on, and she knew what was going on. So she came out of the bedroom And she looked at my mother and said, "Charlene, I'm gonna whip you over the head with this cane if you don't just love your son the way he is."
Oh.
And like this 78-year-old woman coming out and telling her own daughter, like, "Look, woman, you're gonna love your son and you're gonna appreciate him for who he is and what he's trying to do." And she just kind of stunned my mom, and she stunned me. I mean, 78 years old, you know, and sometimes I wonder what kind of shapes people's perceptions about diversity and being different. And like, you know, there's certain people that are older and set in their ways, a little bit more discriminating, and then there's others like my grandma that just realized of all the challenging times and difficult times she had in life, she was able to focus on the positive and say, "Look, you know, I'm 78, I don't have much longer here. You guys do. You just need to value what you have and not let something like this kind of destroy that relationship."
My name is Brian Sims, and the story that most people like to hear me talk about is I was a college football player, and was sort of how I came out to my football team. And I'm very fond of telling people that my team came out to me. I didn't really come out to them. I was in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania, at Shippensburg University for something called Jello wrestling. Shippensburg, they take about 400 gallons of red Jello, make a makeshift wrestling ring, and it's a bit of a free-for-all for a day, kind of a drunken festival. And I was with 3 guys on my football team, my quarterback, a defensive end, and one of our wide receivers. And my quarterback and I think we were walking back to the car to get more beer, quite frankly, out of a trunk. And out of nowhere, the guy turns around and says, "Yo, Sims, you gay?" And it completely caught me off guard. And I really quickly said, "Yeah, man, thanks for asking." And we both sort of stood there. It's one of those things where it felt like 5 minutes. It was probably 5 seconds. And he says, "Cool, man, thanks for telling me." And we just sort of kept on walking like it hadn't happened. We got to the car, picked up some beer, walked back. My next 3 months were probably the most surreal time in my life. I couldn't go anywhere without one of my teammates pulling me aside for that quiet moment that, "Hey man, you know, just want to let you know, I heard, it's really cool with me, I got no problems with that. Sorry about anything I might have said." And there are 56 guys that make a traveling squad, but probably, close to 80, 90 guys on a football team. And I could tell early on that my team had been talking a lot. What was happening was the guys that I knew well, the other starters on my football team, were talking to everybody about it, and apparently it was going pretty well. And then we were up on the practice field one day. We had these high school kids down doing some drill. They were on all fours, spinning in a circle, something that's probably not going to make them better football players, but we needed to kill time. And my position coach, who clearly hadn't heard yet, yells out loud from probably 40 feet away while this kid's down on all fours, "Yeah, this is Sims's favorite drill," thinking he was just making a dig on me. And what happened was pretty shocking to me. My teammates that were up there and heard it all sort of froze for a second. There's 50 guys up on this field, probably 300 high school football players, and everybody just stopped dead in their tracks. And clearly my coach had no idea what was going on. I knew exactly what was going on, and these guys sort of started to converge on him. And I ran up, kind of broke it up. I don't think he had any idea what was going on. And after practice, I went to go talk to him, sort of explain what was going on. And he walked right past me, didn't say a word to me. And I'm thinking, geez. The next morning, we're all in the lobby of a dorm room waiting to go back up to the practice field. And in walks this coach, and again, walks right past me. And he walks up to a table that we were all sitting around and stands up on the table. And he says, "I need everybody's attention." He said, "Yesterday I said something really fucking stupid." He said, "I've spent my career teaching you guys what it means to be teammates, and yesterday you guys had to teach me what it means to be a teammate." And that was it. And that was the end of it. And it was still sort of the defining moment for me. I knew my team would be all right when they had to pull my coaches aside and say, "You better be all right with this because we all are."
My name's Craig. I'm from Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. During high school, I was in the color guard and marching band. It's the people in the front of the band with the flags and the guns and throwing them in the air and being all kind of fabulous. And I was one of the first guys ever to be in the color guard, and the other one was my best friend, Andy, and we were both gay. We weren't really supposed to be in the guard. No, guys weren't supposed to be interested in it, and we were. So like, it started out where we were just like, hey, I want to do that. And so we went to like an audition one time. We learned some of the moves, and then we didn't get in. And then so then we just borrowed flags and stuff from the school, and we just spent like every waking hour outside till 11 o'clock at night, till the neighbors were like, stop doing that, because we're like dropping them on the ground and like making all this noise. We were just like obsessed with it. When we wanted to join the guard, we had to like fight to get in because the school didn't want us to do it. We basically had to like threaten lawsuit to do it, and we were really serious about doing it. My brother told me that the drumline instructors said, we're gonna make sure those faggots don't get in the guard. And my brother was like, excuse me, that's my brother, like, fuck you. And so I was like, no, I'm getting in. So I went up to the director of the group, and I started asking him about it. I said, I heard through the wind that, you know, these people are saying they're gonna keep us from getting in, they don't want it to happen. And he's like, well, you know, you're gonna have to meet the skills, you know, necessary when you do the audition. I said, I'm gonna say this again, we're gonna get in. So that's not gonna be a problem. We have all the skills, and if we don't get in, you know, there might be a problem. And I was like 15 when I said this, so I don't know where I got that from, but I was just determined to do it. Oh, and everyone came around eventually, but initially there was just like a big, like, we've never done this before, we can't do this, like, this is wrong, you know, boys aren't supposed to do this. And it's ridiculous because a lot of high schools have it now. A lot of high schools have like multiple guys on the squads and stuff. So yeah, we had to just kind of push our way through.
I'm Deshaun Timothy, and I live in Philadelphia, but I'm from Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, and I've been here for about 9 years. I'm moving shortly in about 2 months, and I ran across a picture of my great-great-grandmother. She passed away when I was like 16, but I have so many memories of her. I just remember this one time, I was like learning my sexuality, I guess you could say that. But I remember this one kid in my kindergarten class, this kid named Adam. I just remember having like a crush on him like so hard. Like, I don't even, like, when you're 5, you're just like, whatever. But like, I just remember being like, oh my God, Adam, I want to play with Adam. Adam was a cutie. I actually remember him being on the chubby side. I don't know, he was like just cute little white kid, and we just colored and like played together, like recess. It was just like Adam, Adam, Adam. I just remember one day going to church with my grandmother, and we passed Adam's house, and I just remember her, and I was like, Mama, 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 my boyfriend lives there. And she's like, what? Like, no, like, don't ever say that, like. And I'm just like, why? But he's my boyfriend, like, I love him. And she's just like, no, do not say that. I didn't really question it or anything, because I always did what she said. She's a very like hard-going Christian, like Pentecostal lady, and that's just so funny for like a 5-year-old who like doesn't know like anything like about life, but he just knows that he likes Adam and loves Adam to death. And then he tells his grandmom, who could tell like anything in the world, and like she's like the only time she really got mad at him was when he told her that he liked a boy. But
Hi, I'm Chris Colfer. In the last couple weeks, a number of LGBT youth have tragically taken their own lives due to some ugly circumstances of their environments. If you or anyone you know are also having a rough time, it is vital that you know that there are people out there who care and can help. I know what it's like to be bullied and teased every single day, and I know that it may seem like there is no chance of happiness left, but I promise you there is a world full of acceptance and love just waiting for you to find it. So please, before you take a drastic action that could be your last, call the Trevor Project. Know that you have friends, you are loved, and that you are not alone. And know that despite such a current challenging time, there's so much to look forward to. And I look forward to sharing it with you. I promise it gets so much better. Thank you.
It gets better.
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 There's hope and there's help.
People are here for you, people who care and understand.
It may be the darkest time in the world for you, but you need to understand that there is hope. There's always hope and there is always help.
If you or a friend are feeling lost and lonely, there's someone who can help.
It's called the Trevor Project.
A confidential, toll-free, 24-hour suicide hotline for gay and questioning youth.
If you're being bullied in school, you're not alone. Don't give up.
Please talk to your school advisors or call the Trevor Project.
If you want to talk to someone without judgment, call the Trevor Project.
A confidential, toll-free, 24-hour suicide hotline for gay and questioning youth.
There is hope and there is help. Call the Trevor Project.
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 I'm Zachary Quinto, and I want to add to the chorus of voices rising up against the kind of hatred and ridicule that led to the senseless and heartbreaking suicides of Asher Brown, Seth Walsh, Billy Lucas, Tyler Clementi, and Raymond Chase in just the past few months in this country. And those are only the names that we've come to know. There are countless other teens and young adults who are struggling to find a sense of identity and belonging in a chaotic and often unforgiving world. And to you, I say it gets better. There is help to be found. There are places to turn. There are people who will listen. TheTrevorProject.org, 1-866-4U-TREVOR is a place to start. Start there, start anywhere, but start by believing that life is worth living and you will find your way. And I'm proud to be a voice that stands to remind you of that anytime you ever come close to forgetting it.
What are you doing? Hi, my name is Brian Galvin, and I just wanted to tell you that it gets better. It really does. In middle school, high school, even college, I went to a pretty conservative Catholic college. I was not out at all, and I wasn't bullied, but it was because I tried so hard to fit in. And I regret that. I regret not just being who I was more and just, but it's hard. It's hard to do that sometimes. So, it got better though. It got great. And a lot of times in high school, I wouldn't do the things, I didn't do acting now. I act and I write and do improv and I love it. But I didn't do it in high school because I thought it would make me seem gay and I thought I would get picked on. And I didn't take an improv class till I turned 30, which is ridiculous. Why did I wait to do something I love so much? And I felt the same way about even coming out. I didn't even go on a date or anything with a guy till I was 24. And when I did, it was so great and I really liked him and it felt so good to just go out with somebody and who I really liked. And I immediately regretted all that time I wasted trying to fit in and be something I wasn't. And so I'm telling you, I know we wait because we're scared, and if you are in a position where you're scared, try and find those couple of people or more who are trustworthy, who you feel can help you, or look on the internet for resources, or read books. I love books. They always help you find, most young adult books, which I love young adult literature still, are about people who are outsiders, and then they realize that they're okay by the end of the book. So think of your life as a book, and sometimes if high school's hard, it's just that part, and you're gonna get to the good part. Because now, I have so many great friends, gay friends, straight friends. Everyone I came out to, my relationship with them got better. My family, my friends, it's great. And that happens later. So please stick around for it. It'll be great. I make these videos about making fun of Juliet killing herself in Shakespeare. And I wish I could zoom into every scared gay kid's life and say, what are you doing? I can't, but you can do it for yourself. I believe in you. It gets better, so stick around, you stupid bitch.
Madam Secretary.
Announcements by City Council members and staff regarding upcoming and recent events and recognition of citizens.
Now, Mr. Burns.
Yes, sir. Mayor, as you know, we're gathered here today in our pink shirts to bring awareness to the fight against breast cancer here in Fort Worth and across the globe. But tonight I ask my colleagues' indulgence in allowing me to use my announcement time to talk briefly about another issue that pulls at my heart. Ron, would you go ahead and run the parents of Asher Brown, who you can see above, complained to school officials in the Cypress Fairbanks ISD outside of Houston that their son was being bullied and harassed in school. The bullies called him faggot and queer. They shoved him, they punched him, and in spite of his parents' calls to counselors and principals, the harassment, intimidation, and threats continued. For years, it continued. A couple of weeks ago, after being bullied at school, Asher went home, found his father's gun, and shot himself in the head. His father found Asher dead when he came home from work. Asher was 13 years old. I'd like for you to look at his face. Unlike Asher, Indiana teen Billy Lucas, who never self-identified as gay, but was perceived to be by bullies who harassed him daily at the Greenberg Community High School. 3 weeks ago, he hung himself in his grandparents' barn. He was 15 years old. Minnesota 15-year-old Justin Auberg came out to friends at age 13, after which the harassment and bullying began. It grew as he moved from middle school to high school. When he found the harassment more than he could bear, he hung himself in his room and was found by his mother. Classmates started teasing and name-calling Seth Walsh in the 4th grade. It continued through his middle school years, where other students told him the world didn't need another queer and that he should, quote, go hang himself. On September 18th, after being threatened by a group of older teens, he went home, threw a noose around a tree branch, and he did just that. He hung himself in his backyard. His mother saw him, pulled him down. Seth survived on life support for 9 days before dying a couple of weeks ago. He was 13 years old. Teen bullying and suicide has reached an epidemic in our country, especially among gay and lesbian youth, those perceived to be gay, or kids who are just different. In recent weeks, New Jersey teen Tyler Clementi jumped off a bridge to his death after his roommate outed him on the internet. Rhode Island teen Raymond Chase hung himself in his dorm room. And we learned just yesterday of Oklahoma teen Zach Harrington, who killed himself after attending a city council meeting in Norman, Oklahoma, where speakers made disparaging anti-gay remarks. There is a conversation for the adults in this room and those watching to have, and we will have it, that this bullying and harassment in our schools must stop, and that our schools must be a safe place to learn, and to grow. It is never acceptable for us to be the cause of any child to feel unloved or worthless. And I am committed to being a part of that conversation. But tonight, I would like to talk to the 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17-year-olds at Paschal and at Arlington Heights and at Trimble Tech High Schools, or at Daggett and Rosemont Middle Schools, or any school in Fort Worth, or anywhere across the country, for that matter. I know that life can seem unbearable. I know that the people in your household or in your school may not understand you, and that they may even physically harm you. But I want you to know that it gets better. When I was 13, I was a skinny, lanky, awkward teen who had grown too tall too fast, who would stumble over my own feet. I was the son of a Methodist church pianist named Jeanette and a cowboy named fittingly Butch in Crowley, Texas. As their son and as a kid in a small town, there was a certain image of who I thought I was supposed to be. But as I entered adolescence, I started having feelings that I didn't understand and couldn't explain, but I knew they didn't mesh with the image of what I thought I was supposed to be. I was a sensitive kid, but friendly. I was a band dork. I played basketball, but not very well. I was teased like all kids, but I was fairly confident, and I didn't let it bother me much. One day when I was in the 9th grade, just starting Crowley High School, I was cornered after school by some older kids who roughed me up. They said that I was a faggot and that I should die and go to hell where I belonged. That erupted the fear that I had kept pushed down, that what I was beginning to feel on the inside must somehow be showing on the outside. Ashamed, humiliated, and confused, I went home. There must be something very wrong with me, I thought. Something I could never let my family or anyone else know.
Catch your breath.
I think I'm going to have too hard a time with the next couple of sentences that I wrote. And also, I don't want my mother and father to bear the pain of having hear me say them. So I will just say, and I'll skip ahead, I have never told this story to anyone before tonight. Not my family, not my husband, not anyone. But the numerous suicides in recent days have upset me so much and have just torn at my heart. And even though there may be some political repercussions for telling my story, this story is not just for the adults who might choose or not choose to support me. This story is for the young people who might be holding that gun tonight, or the rope, or the pill bottle. You need to know that the story doesn't end where I didn't tell it on that unfortunate day. There is so much more. Yes, high school was difficult. Coming out was painful. But life got so much better for me. And I want to tell any teen who might see this, give yourself a chance to see just how much better life will get. And it will get better. You will get out of the household that doesn't accept you. You will get out of that high school, and you never have to deal with those jerks again if you don't want to. You will find and you will make new friends who will understand you, and life will get so much better. I look back and my life is full of so many happy memories that I wish I could share with those whose photos were shown up above earlier and those who have taken their lives. Memories that I wish I could share with the 13-year-old version of me on that very unfortunate day. If I could, I would take the 13-year-old me by the hand and take him to the campaign office in 1992 of then Governor Clinton, where for a very speechless moment, my now partner J.D. Engel and I saw each other for the first time. I would take that 13-year-old me to the first day of spring in 1999 on a West Texas ranch hilltop, surrounded by a dozen head of black Angus cattle who thought we were there to feed. And as the sun set, turning the sky pink and purple and orange in a way that only a West Texas sunset can, I jabbed my hands into my jeans pocket and pulled out 2 rings that I'd literally spent my last dollar on, and slipped one onto JD's hand and asked him to spend the rest of his life with me. I would take the 13-year-old Joel to election night in 2007 in a room filled with countless family and friends, erupting in cheers when it became clear that I would win my first election, so that they could see the love and support for me that was in the room that night. And I would take the 13-year-old me to just a few days ago at Baylor Hospital to see our dad. Our dad, who's no longer the 40-year-old tough cowboy that he was when I was 13, who I thought would never understand me, but is now the 67-year-old dad, still pretty tough cowboy, who has grown older. And the 13-year-old me would see me today holding my dad's weathered hand and see my dad as he woke up from his operation, and him squeeze my hand and look up at me and say, "Joel, I'm so glad you're here today." And me say back to my dad, "I am too, Daddy. I am too." To those who are feeling very alone tonight, please know that I understand how you feel, but things will get easier. Please stick around to make those happy memories for yourself. It may not seem like it tonight, but they will. And the attitudes of society will change. Please live long enough to be there to see it. And to the adults, the bullying and the harassment has to stop. We cannot look aside as life after life is tragically lost. If you need resources, please check out the trevorproject.org online. And you can call me and I will get you whatever resources you need. My number is 817-392-8809. I want to thank those in this room for allowing me this time. And to JD and the rest of my family, I'm sorry for you learning of this painful personal story in this public way for the first time. But know that I am able to tell it because of your love for me. And Mom and Dad, I'm alive today because you love me. Again, attitudes will change. Life will get better, and you will have a lifetime of happy memories if you just allow yourself and give yourself the time to make them. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a 10-minute recess and we'll get back to the agenda.
It gets better. It seems hard, you know. I think being different is always going to be a tough climb, you know. There's always going to be people that are scared of it. But at the end of the day, if you give those bullies and those people that are so ignorant and fearful of your lifestyle, if you give them the power to affect you, you're letting them win. And they don't deserve that. What you're doing by being who you are is you're keeping it real and you're being really brave. I believe in you. I think it's great. There are a ton of us out here in this world that are just like you, that believe in you. You know, even someone like me, someone that has recently come into some success in his career. You know, I'm touring the world. I have a CD out. I do music videos. I'm living my dream. Even I get bullied. You look under any, comment section on any article, and there's bullies in there telling me that I'm a faggot, that I'm ugly, that, I'm gross, ew, gross, nasty, he's a girly, blah, 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 all this crap. I'm singled out, and it's all gay, 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 even though there's so much more to me than just who I choose to sleep with. So the thing at the end of the day is, ladies and gentlemen, is that you are so much more than your orientation. You know it and I know it. So don't let those bullies and those ignorant, fearful, small-minded people prove you wrong. You have to be strong, and you have to pay attention to the positive. And in doing so, you will push through, and you will rise up, and you will live your life to the fullest. It gets better, but it's up to you.
Like all of you, I was shocked and saddened by the deaths of several young people who were bullied and taunted for being gay, and who ultimately took their own lives. As a parent of 2 daughters, it breaks my heart. It's something that just shouldn't happen in this country. And we've got to dispel this myth that bullying is just a normal rite of passage, that it's some inevitable part of growing up. It's not. We have an obligation to ensure that our schools are safe for all of our kids. And to every young person out there, you need to know that if you're in trouble, there are caring adults who can help. I don't know what it's like to be picked on for being gay, but I do know what it's like to grow up feeling that sometimes you don't belong. It's tough. And for a lot of kids, the sense of being alone or apart, I know it can just wear on you. And when you're teased or bullied, it can seem like somehow you brought it on yourself for being different or for not fitting in with everybody else. But what I want to say is this: you are not alone. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything to deserve being bullied. And there is a whole world waiting for you, filled with possibilities. There are people out there who love you and care about you just the way you are. And so, if you ever feel like because of bullying, because of what people are saying, that you're getting down on yourself, you've got to make sure to reach out to people you trust. Whether it's your parents, teachers, folks that you know care about you just the way you are, you've got to reach out to them. Don't feel like you're in this by yourself. The other thing you need to know is things will get better. And more than that, with time you're going to see that your differences are a source of pride and a source of strength. You'll look back on the struggles you faced with compassion and wisdom, and that's not just going to serve you, but it'll help you get involved and make this country a better place. It'll mean that you'll be more likely to help fight discrimination, not just against LGBT Americans, but discrimination in all its forms. It means you'll be more likely to understand personally and deeply why it's so important that as adults we set an example in our own lives and that we treat everybody with respect, that we are able to see the world through other people's eyes and stand in their shoes, that we never lose sight of what binds us together. As a nation, we're founded on the belief that all of us are equal and each of us deserves the freedom to pursue our own version of happiness, to make the most of our talents, to speak our minds, to not fit in, most of all, to be true to ourselves. That's the freedom that enriches all of us. That's what America's all about. And every day, it gets better.
Hey, are you one of those fuckwads that has a fucking problem?
Fucking problem?
With kids being gay?
Fucking queer? Fucking faggot? 1 out of 3 queer kids have fucking tried to kill themselves.
If I grow up to be lesbo?
If I grew up gay?
Do you want me to get fucking gay bashed?
Then listen up, haters.
On some fucking straight talk on gay bashing bullies.
Hey kids, it's Fuck Hate! Fuck bullies!
You're fucking anti-gay?
Think kids choose to be that way?
So where the fuck do kids learn to hate?
Number 1. At school.
9 out of every 10 queer kids are bullied, beaten, and bashed.
Bullied, beaten, and bashed.
Number 2.
Let's go to church.
Jesus loves little children.
Just not the fucking gay one?
If I am gay,
God made me that way.
Preaching fucked up hate has a lot to do with the suicide rate. Number 3.
kids rejected by their parents are 8 times more likely to fucking try to kill themselves.
You fucking bully your kid, you bury your kid. Hey, don't be hating on the homos. Number 4.
Your anti-gay votes
help slit their throats.
You fucking take away their right to marry,
Serve and adopt?
and you're fucking surprised when they take their lives.
Fuck you, ballot box bullies.
Don't fuck with queer kids.
You call my son a fucking faggot?
I'll fuck you up.
Put you in a motherfucking headlock and noogie your motherfucking ass. If a dude's my fucking prom date.
If a chick's my fucking prom date,
That's fucking great.
I'm gay.
I'm straight.
And we're standing together to
Fuck hate.
Across the country, queer kids are under attack by fucking bullies.
So many are taking their lives. So we're taking a stand.
by fundraising for suicide prevention.
Be the shit. Get the shirt. Starting at $13.
That's so fucking gay.
Proceeds from each shirt.
Pay to help those who are young and gay.
Do good and look good doing it.
Dance, bitches.
I'm gonna smack you.
Straight against hate.
Gonna lose your lipstick, 'cause you keep on talking
Don't be hating on the homos.
right between your hips, 'cause you're such a catty bitch.
You like it in black.
'Cause I'm usually such a lady.
Some kids are gay. That's okay.
Do goody in this hoodie.
Push some buttons. Stick it to them.
Band together.
Band together.
To fuck hate.
I'm getting my Facebook all up in this thing's Twitter.
I'm totally fucking Facebooking this.
Oh my god, fuckhate.com! Spread this like herpes on that Twitter thing and the Facebook.
Sticks and stones may break my bones,
But your names will never fucking hurt me.
Where am I? I just borrowed this top. It's rad. It's all purple and stuff.
Hi, I'm Barry Zito of the world champion San Francisco Giants. We all know how difficult life can be as a teenager.
We've all been there and have had to deal with the pressure to fit in and be accepted by our peers.
It's particularly challenging for LGBT teens who face adversity and intolerance in their daily lives. We speak for the entire Giants organization when we say that there is no place in society for hatred and bullying against anyone.
There is no place for children and teenagers to feel isolated or like they have to end their own lives.
To all the kids out there who are struggling.
And we know it may seem hopeless right now.
But please know that you have an amazing future in front of you.
And an entire community in your corner. We promise you, it gets better.
It gets better.
Se pone mejor.
Yokunario.
We promise you, it does get better. Please visit itgetsbetter.org for more information.
Hi, this is Stephen Colbert. I have a message for any gay and lesbian teens out there. And I'm being told also bisexual and transgendered. Really anybody who's being picked on. It sucks. I agree. When I was in 7th grade, I remember being picked on all the time. And I got called queer a lot. And it just sort of the word that got thrown as a weapon at people when I was a kid. And just the most hurtful thing I think that the bullies could think of calling you. And I didn't like it. And one day I had this revelation because a friend of mine named Pat, who also got picked on by the bullies, was called a queer by one of the bullies, a big jock. And Pat, instead of sort of flinching or running away, turned around and said, yeah, I am a queer. Kiss me. And the bully said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "I'm queer. You called me queer. I am a queer. Kiss me. I'll prove it." And the bully didn't know what to say. And he just turned around and walked away quietly. And I was stunned. I couldn't believe the magic that Pat had just worked. He had somehow figured out that if you don't give power to the words that people throw at you to hurt you, they don't hurt you anymore. And you actually have power over those people. And that's a lesson that I am grateful to him for my entire life. So, if you can, realize that the things that people say about you don't really matter. It's who you are. And the older you get, the more you'll understand that. Because it gets better. People get nicer too.
That's so gay. Yo, what's with those fucking queers saying they were born this way?
Born this way?
60% of Americans think homos choose to be gay.
And those Einsteins are like totes fucking right.
So you already chosen to be straight? Don't worry, it's not too late.
The top 5 reasons people choose to be gay. Reason 1.
Oh my god, you get to be like bullied and beaten at school.
Everybody loves a fucking queer. Why be popular when you can look forward to getting your teeth knocked out?
Bruises will look great in your yearbook photo.
Reason 2.
Everyone will care about your personal life.
Like, people love queers so much.
But fucking strangers get to vote on whether or not
you can marry the person you love.
Who wants the right to a family anyway?
Reason 3.
Are you looking for a great reason to end it all? Go homo.
Queer kids rejected by their parents
are 10 times more likely to commit suicide.
If you want to get away,
you got to go gay.
Reason 4.
Help unite the world's religions.
Both the Taliban and the Baptists agree.
God hates fags.
Hating you gives them a reason to like come together.
Reason 5.
Butt fucking for dudes.
Muff diving for chicks.
So if gay people choose to be gay, then every gay person used to be straight.
If that's true, every straight dude could choose to love this.
Dude, that's giving me a reverse boner.
Baby, I was born this way!
Woo! Yo, I'm gay.
Like, I'm straight, I think.
And we're standing together to fuck hate. Join the FCKH8.com Born This Way campaign.
Born This Way.
Every time you like this video on Facebook
or tweet it on the Twitter,
FCKH8.com will give 10 cents
up to $10,000
to programs helping queer youth. Get your gear, get involved.
Dudes marry dudes.
Chicks marry chicks.
Don't be hating on the homos.
Straight against hate.
That's so gay.
Born This Way.
You like it with some bling?
Do goody in a hoodie. Stick it to them.
Push some buttons. Show them your point of view. And band together to fuck hate.
I'm Facebooking the fuck out of this, bitches.
Straight or gay? Mama says I was born this way.
Hate's a fucking drag.
Suck it, haters.
Hi there, mom or dad. Your child sent you this video because they have something very important to tell you. It's not always easy to find the words, but they want you to know that they're gay. I'm sure that you're thinking and feeling a lot of things right now, so let's take a deep breath. Maybe you're relieved that they finally told you, or maybe you're scared for your child's soul. Maybe you're frustrated that your son or daughter didn't tell you sooner. Maybe you're sad that you won't have grandkids, which by the way isn't necessarily true, you still could. Or maybe you're angry that your child is gonna have a more difficult life. I'm sure that you're feeling a lot, but just for a second, let's put aside what you're feeling and think about what your child is feeling. Know that coming out to a parent because you're the most important person in that child's life is one of the hardest things that you can possibly do. They've heard countless stories of parents disowning their children because they're gay, and right now they're probably feeling very vulnerable. How you react to this situation is absolutely something that your child is always going to remember for the rest of their lives. And there are 3 words that your child now more than ever needs to hear you say, and that's I love you. That's it. It's the most important thing that you can say. They're not asking you to throw them a parade, they're not asking you to be happy about it, they're not even asking you to understand. They're just asking that you'll simply love them, just like you always have, unconditionally.
Life growing up as a youngster in this day and age is tough enough as it is. And to tell you that they're gay is a plus for you as a parent, that they can come on and tell you something that's their inner feelings or something that's so close to them. So at this point, they need your support and your love more than ever.
Remember that your son or daughter is the same right now as they've always been. They're still the same person. The only thing that's changed is what you know about them. And now you have the opportunity to build an even more loving, more honest, and more open relationship with each other.
When your child comes out, I think as a parent, you want to be even more protective. You want to hug them a little bit tighter and give them an extra kiss. It's important now, more than ever, to love and support your son or daughter.
And yes, it's totally true that there's still a lot of hate and there's still a lot of bigotry in the world, and your child will probably experience discrimination because of their sexual orientation. But know that these challenges will only make him or her stronger, and that they will make you, as their parent, very, very proud. And they'll be even stronger with you at their side. Below is a link for PFLAG, and they're a great organization for parents and family. They have a lot of wonderful resources and answers to a lot of the questions that you probably have. And remember to tell your child how much you love them. Good luck.
We love you. Mwah.
My name is Tyrone Smith. I'm originally from Kinston, North Carolina, but I've lived here in Philadelphia for most of my adult life. And I'm an openly affirming African-American gay man who happens to be 70 years old in the year 2012. Ain't that fierce? One of the things I wanted to share with you today is some of the history of black gay men here in Philadelphia. On this calendar, there were a group of young men who were part of a movement which was called Unity Incorporated, which was the first group to deal with AIDS and HIV for black gay men in the city of Philadelphia. But as I look at this picture that we took on top of a rooftop, so many of these brothers are not here. All of these young men made a contribution. Arnold Jackson, Bill Jackson, all of these boys, and Kenneth. They all made a great contribution of giving their lives, but out of that forged what we have now as the Black Gay Men's Leadership Council. People are in the rooms where differences are being made, openly affirming their gayness. Prior to this epidemic, that was not happening. So I think that if there's anything good that has come about is the fact that we were able to come together, organize, and move forward to where we are now in the year 2012. Kenny Bullock was a young man who was a bartender here in Philadelphia. I was working at Keebler Baking Company, so when I got off from work at night, I'd come into the bar having warm, hot pecan sandy cookies. You hold them up, you give them to him, and that took some money off of your drink. So it was a way that we became buddies. And the differences in our age, at that time I was in like my late 40s, of course he was much younger, but I've tried to always have a relationship with younger people in a productive way. So when Kenny became ill, he called me and let me know, this is what was going on with him. He called and he said to me, "Miss Tyrone, what you doing?" I said, "Honey, I'm just laying around the house." He said, "Can you come down to the hospital?" I said, "Something you want?" He said, "Yeah." He wanted a cheesesteak with seeded peppers, mayonnaise, and relish. And I went and got it for him, never knowing that from the time I left my house to get to him, he would have gotten a diagnosis of being at that time it wasn't HIV positive, he had AIDS. And so, and, you know, and in those days, young people got AIDS and they died. I'll never forget the fact that he didn't want to be alone. And I figured, you know, for me to say, okay, Kenny, don't worry about it, I'll be here for you. But the thing is, I thank God I was able to be there for him and his family. The first fundraiser that the black gay community really did as a collective was for this kid. I mean, that's how popular he was. And we didn't have money, but we did it on food stamps. People who had food stamps would go get, you know, would give us the food stamps, we did the shopping so that we could have a fundraiser to help support him. Because at that time, it took a long time before people got on SSDI, which is now disability. But this particular picture, not only is it very moving for me, but it's a very historical moment. Because in this picture, him in my arms was at a candlelight visual. This was the night that Rashida Hassan, the woman who started Babashi, which is one of the first AIDS organizations for African Americans across the board here in Philadelphia, and possibly one of the first ones in the country. Rashida, a Muslim woman, started this organization that evening. It gave her the strength and courage to do it. Because we had been dealing with organizations at that time for basically white gay men in Center City. And we had been working with them because they had a task force that was dealing with the issue of AIDS and HIV. And by this time, we started to realize that AIDS was not just a white gay men's disease, it was a people's disease, and it was affecting our community. So from that, we began to put systems in place for us, such as Unity Incorporated, such as Babashi. And the next morning after this candlelight visual, this particular picture was on the cover of the Philadelphia Daily News. So for me, remembering and looking back over that, it's very moving for me. This young man transformed my life, and I mean that in a very positive way. I really was never an activist. I was a flaming sissy, but I wasn't an activist. I mean, issues, unless they affected me, I didn't give a damn. But because of me interacting with him, seeing the struggles in others that they had to go through, has made me the activist that I am today. So I'm very grateful for that interaction.
With all the It Gets Better videos that have been made, we wanted to speak out about the forgotten victims.
People who hate gays.
For you fucking homophobes, it doesn't get better!
Girl, it does not get better. It doesn't get better! For example,
gay marriage.
A majority of Americans and even half of young Republicans
now support the fight to legalize love.
So you trying to cock block Adam and Steve's?
Big fat gay wedding is getting big time bitch slapped. Hello? Gays in the military.
It doesn't get better!
So you were cool if gay soldiers died for your freedom?
As long as they didn't get their freedom.
Love the flag but hate the fags?
Don't ask me not to tell you.
You a homo-hating hypocrite that's
full of shit.
Girl, fatigues never look so fabulous.
Don't you just hate it?
Neener, neener, neener. Gay adoption.
It doesn't get better.
So you would rather a kid be an orphan
than have two daddies?
Sorry, bitches. More and more gay couples are adopting kids.
It's abandoned by straight people.
Make way for the gaybies.
You get a gaybie. You get a gaybie.
Pray the gay away? It doesn't get better.
No matter how much you preach to kids, the way they were born is a sin.
Thousands of schools have gay-straight alliances.
Bitch, you ain't gonna win. Boys is prom queens.
Stop the gayness.
Man, I hate the gays.
Cry, cry, cry.
Shut the fuck up.
Wah, wah. Legalize love, bitches.
We're gay. And we're straight. And we're standing together to fuck hate. Every time you share this video on Facebook
or tweet it on Twitter. Tweet, tweet.
FCKH8.com will donate 10 cents.
Up to $10,000.
To anti-gay bullying projects.
Sorry, haters. It don't get better.
It just gets gayer.
It's gonna get so gay.
FCKH8.com.
Hello.
Like my status if you like this video.
Thank you for all of your love. I would be so lost without you by my side. I have a feeling 2011 will change our lives forever. Love forever and always. Forever and always, Tom.
I don't know how people do this. I don't know how I really don't think that I can do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I know I've said it a million times, but my life without you it just feels so meaningless.
Today you're gone, today you left me. You left me for heaven. I'm on my knees, crying and begging. Please let me be dreaming. Please let me be dreaming. Young, beautiful boy, making his way up to the golden doors. Time will not erase all of the tears streaming down our faces for you. We'll miss you, baby boy. Remembering the way your smile made my world alright. The sudden loss of what has made my life worth living has left me so broken. Young, beautiful boy, making his way up to the golden doors. Time will not erase We'll miss you, baby boy. Young, beautiful boy, making his way up to the golden doors. Time will not erase all of the tears streaming down our faces for you. We'll miss you, baby boy. We'll miss you, baby boy. We'll miss you, baby boy.
I need to fight for what's right. I need to fight for what I believe in, and I can't just stand back anymore. Maybe that's why this all happened. Maybe this is part of the reason, is to open my eyes and to inspire me to want to make a change and want to fight for equality. I just don't know if people will listen. But I guess no one's going to listen if I don't talk. So I'm talking.